Alright guys, I'm going to try to explain to you adequately what happened to me over the last couple of months. Basically, in October, I went to start my bike and it wouldn't start. It would turn over, but it wouldn't run. Everything looked and sounded fine electrically. The battery was fine. So I took it to an acquaintance of mine's shop, and I asked him before I took it over there. I was like, dude, if you guys, if you guys aren't sure about something or don't know how to work on it, I'll just take it back to the shop I got it from. And he's like, no man, no, we can do it. So took it over there. About 3 or 4 weeks later, not 3 weeks later, they I'd gone up there a couple times, asked them what was wrong with it, and they didn't know. So basically took the bike all apart, trying to find out what in the world was wrong with it. And about 3 weeks went by before they finally figured out it was a burnt out stator. And if you guys notice, I haven't replaced my mirror yet. I'm trying to find a cheap one on eBay. But anyway, it was a burnt out stator, and so I have an extended warranty on this bike, the 3-year extended warranty, unlimited miles. And they cover it, basically wherever you take it, any shop. So they were gonna cover the stator and everything, but those guys had to get the stator from Triumph. So they went back to the Harley shop and tried to get a stator, and Triumph said, or Harley said, well, Triumph is covering this part if it fails. There's no actual recall on it, but if it fails, they're covering it. Guys, I'm waiting for my bike to warm up. That's why I'm just sitting here. So they said, they cover it, but Harley has to work on the bike. So I was like, okay, well, if it's something like that, I figured, it might come to this. So I was like, okay, well, Sean, go ahead, guys. I'm sorry, I'm going too far. Basically, they said they were ordering a part, and they said they were waiting for the extended warranty company to give them the money because they didn't have, the extra cash to order a part and then wait, a month for the company to give them the money. So they waited for the company to give them the money. The company gave them the money for the labor and the parts. And so 3 weeks had gone by. I'm like, what the heck is going on? About 2 more weeks. I'm like, are you guys still waiting on the insurance company? They were like, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, let me call the insurance company and find out what the heck is going on. Because you guys shouldn't have to wait this long. That's ridiculous. Me thinking that the shop is doing everything they're supposed to do. Well, I called the insurance company. It turns out that they've been sitting on a check for at least 4 business days. Business days now, because I think a weekend had passed too. At least 4 business days. And so I went up to the shop and I was like, dude, where's Sean, the guy in, he was the guy in charge of the shop. I was like, where is he at? Because the insurance company said you guys have had a check since, I think at that point it was like the 26th of October. I think I took it in the first week of October. That's when they went to the shop. This is the 26th now. I was like, okay, we're good. I was like, yeah guys, they said you guys already have the money. They said they sent it the 26th, or you should have gotten the check the 26th. And we're almost in November now. So I'm like, well, I mean, what the hell's going on, You guys are, obviously you guys are sitting on a check. Are you guys waiting on Harley or what? So then at that point it was like, that's when Harley said, yeah, well, we have to work on the bike in order for the part to be covered. I was like, okay, well, Sean, you guys pack the bike up. You guys can keep the labor, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. Keep the labor and just give me the money for the parts and we'll be good. Because Triumph is covering it, not my extended warranty. basically what they did was, at the other shop, before they took it over to Harley, was because they had everything apart, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, so they had everything, all apart. And they literally threw everything back in there, put the tank on it, and took it over there. So when it got over there, the dude at Harley was like, dude, what in the heck did those guys do? Because we don't know what in the world's going on. They have everything disconnected in here. I'm like, oh my god. So they it ended up being 5.5 hours more labor just trying to figure out and put everything back together that they took apart. Then they had the stator and the alternator from Triumph, it's overseas, so that took a couple of weeks. So anyway, I get the bike back early December. It's been 2 months now, and now keep in mind it's cold. It's not that cold today, but it was cold then. And the guy at Harley was telling me, dude, every time your fan cuts on, your ECU goes haywire, man. It starts throwing out all sorts of codes. The bike is acting like, the bike is telling me on the laptop it's negative 25 degrees, but it's acting like it's overheated. He's like, I think you might need a new ECU because it looks like somebody just physically with their hand pulled out your instrument cluster. I'm like, oh man. So so he finally, he actually got it working to a point where he's like, well, let me come over here, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Because he had the bike apart still. So I went over to the shop and saw everything. And there's like rubber grommet that goes behind here that, it goes in one way and then it latches. That was broken off. So so he showed me that. He was like, let me run it, get it hot, and I'll see what the fan does. And it turns out the fan worked, and it didn't throw any codes, and so we thought everything was good. Well, like I said, rode it home, the fan never turned on because it was cold. Rode it the next day, still cold, fan never turned on. I didn't ride it for that long. Then the first warm day, I got it out and I let it run a little bit. The fan kicked on and it started throwing codes. itself. And then I turned it back on again and it was fine. Well, then I rode it the next day, and about midway through the ride when the fan turned on, it started doing the same thing, and it was acting like it wasn't getting any power. So I took it over to the shop, and the gear shift display would go up to 2, like on its own now. The bike wouldn't actually shift, but the display would go up to 2, then it would jump up to 5, then it would come back down to 3, then it was up to 6, and it was doing all that crazy stuff. But it was still acting like it wasn't getting any power. So I took it over to the shop. It turns out we did have to replace the ECU, and one of my valve sensors, my exhaust valve sensors, had to be replaced as well. All of those covered on this extended warranty, luckily. So that thing has paid for itself about 3 times now, because it did about $3 grand worth of work. So that's what happened to me. So I'm waiting here to meet up with all the guys. Not all the guys, but some of the guys. And we're gonna go out, take a little ride out to one of the shops that has an open house or something like that going on. I don't know. So yeah, that's what happened to me. I'm not dead. Hopefully you guys could hear most of what I said. I know the sound is crappy because I don't have my mic in. The only question is, how crappy is the sound going to be on this video? So I apologize. I know somebody left on one of my videos. They would subscribe. They could understand me. And my bad, dude. My mic is in my house somewhere. I need to find it. Actually, I know where it is. I didn't grab it. So.